What's good, YouTube? Today the topic is, the loss of a loved one. Yeah, the loss of a loved one. It's never a good thing, you know, to lose someone you love, but it happens. Oh, back in 2019, my father officially passed away. My father officially passed away in November of 2019. He was in like an 8 month coma that started in April of 2019, but he officially passed away in 2019. I mean, he officially passed away in November 2019, but his coma started in April 2019. So even though he officially passed away in November 2019, his coma began in April 2019. So he really, in my eyes, passed away in April of 2019, because when you're in a coma, you lack consciousness, you can't speak, you can't see, or any of that, you know. But when my father was in a coma, the 8 month coma that lasted from April to November in 2019, he'll open his eyes periodically, but it wasn't like he was looking straight in your eyes or anything like that. So in my eyes, his coma began in April of 2019. So in my eyes, he really passed away in April 2019. I love my father, still love him. He raised me and he cared about me. He passed away. You know, he was a very strong man, very strong. And his ailments, he passed away due to medical reasons. I'm not gonna go into the full details or anything like that. But the medical ailments my father had were pretty extreme, very extreme. I'm not gonna say pretty extreme. Saying that his medical ailments that he passed away from was pretty extreme, that's an understatement. They were very extreme. And he was in his early 60s when he passed away, and most younger people who had his health ailments that he passed away from would have passed away immediately. I'm saying, like, they would have passed away immediately. With the stuff my father was going through, his health ailments, they would have passed away immediately. Even young people my age would have passed away immediately. But my father is strong, so he almost made it through it. He almost made it through it, but his health ailments were too much, and he ended up passing away. I knew he was gonna pass away. I knew my father was gonna pass away. I just knew it in my spirit. Since like 2015 or so, I've been knowing my father was gonna pass away. And I was right. He ended up passing away in 2019. And yeah, I knew he was gonna pass away. My spirit was telling me since like 2015, 2016 that my father was gonna pass away soon. And yeah, he passed away. I remember like the last two places my father lived. Me and my father, we lived together. The last couple of places we lived together in, there were the last places we were living in. The last two places we were living in together, me and my father. They were close. They were very close to cemeteries. I remember back in the summer of 2015. My dad told me we were moving to an apartment. I googled the apartment. I googled it, the apartment's location on Google Maps, and the apartment happened to be near a cemetery. And me, I always been kind of woke. My third eye is very open, and I'm the type of dude who nothing is ever a coincidence to me. I always see the deeper elements into situations. And once I found out that back in 2015 that the new place I'm living in is going to be near a cemetery, I started to think, man, this is not a coincidence. Our new apartment is right next to a cemetery. That's not a coincidence. It must be symbolic for something. And I'm thinking, oh, it's symbolic for something. Either me or my father is going to pass away. This is back in 2015. I'm thinking, oh, this is symbolic of me and my father. One of us might pass away. Our apartment is right next to a cemetery. This is not a coincidence. This is very symbolic. And this is back in 2015, 4 years before my father even passed away. Then we moved again. The next apartment me and my father lived in, you know, was right down the block from a funeral home. And this is fast forward to 2017. We moved to an apartment in 27. Me and my father moved to an apartment in 2017 that was right down the block from a fucking funeral home. Then I'm thinking, oh shit, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence at all. This is symbolic. Either me or my father, or even both of us, is finna pass away. You know, our apartment 2 years ago in 2015, that was right down the street from a cemetery. Now in 2017, we move again, and our new apartment is right down the block from a funeral home. This is symbolic. This is not a coincidence. This is symbolic that either me or my father, or even both of us, might pass away. So that was in the back of my mind. I wasn't trying to be too negative, so I wouldn't like think about it all the time. But every now and then it'll come in my head like, why are me and my father always moving near cemeteries and funeral homes? This is symbolic. Either me or my father is gonna pass away. I thought it could have been me. Could it be me who passed away? I don't know. I'm young. I'm in fairly good health, but anything can happen. You can pass away in several ways. And let me backtrack to you guys. You know, back to early 2016. You know, back in early 2016, I started you know back in early 2016. Um, Even all the way back in late 2014. Late 2014 is really when it started. Back in like November of 2014, I began to always see these random numbers, like these random double numbers, like 11. I'll see number 11 all the time. I'll see number 33 all the time. I'll see 44 all the time. I'll see number 23 all the time. Like, it was strange. It was so strange that I started to pick up on it, and I knew it was spiritual. Um, and I googled these numbers that I always would see back in late 2014, and these numbers, are called angel numbers. So I always see 11, 33, 23, 55, 44. 44. I'll always see these numbers. You know, I'll check my email and I'll have 33 new messages in my email. I'll look at the time. It will always be 7:33, 8:33, 9:33, 11:33. Every time I check the time, the minute says 33. I'll look at a billboard and the billboard would say 33 on it. I visited my mom back in 2015, and the address of our apartment was 33. So I'm knowing that I'm seeing these numbers for a reason. I didn't know the exact reason, But back in early 2016, whenever I will walk past the cemetery, I will see the number 33. I'll walk past the cemetery, I'll check my phone. Whenever I walk past the cemetery, I'll see that it's 8:33, 7:33, 11:33. The minute of the hour will always be 33 whenever I walk past the cemetery. Then I remember back in early 2016, one day I was walking to work, you know, and when people go to funerals, when people are on the process of going to a funeral, you know, when a whole bunch of cars are going to a funeral, um, they have a funeral sticker on the front windshield, on the front glass of a car. When people are going to funerals, they have like a funeral sticker on them. That's how you know they're going to a funeral. And this happened to me like two or three times back in early 2016. While I was walking to work, like three times, I'll see a whole bunch of cars with funeral stickers on them going to a funeral. And then as soon as I see these cars, I'll check my phone, and a minute of the hour would be 33. I already knew it was a coincidence. Like, this is symbolic of death. I'm thinking, am I going to pass away? Is my father going to pass away? I don't know. But this is in early 2016. Let's fast forward a couple years. This is in 2017, actually. Probably like in late 2017 or the summer of 2017. Me and my father are having a conversation. This was just like me and my father, we were watching TV together, and we're just having a random conversation. And he told me, like, if anything happens to him, we're watching like a we're watching a TV channel or whatever, and I think on the TV they were talking about on TV that me and my father were watching, like a guy being in a coma for several years or whatever. This guy was in a coma for several years, and watching this caused my father. He said to me, "If I'm in a coma, just pull the plug." You know, he doesn't want to be in pain for that long, or what's the point of being in a coma, racking up medical bills, and you're going to die? That's a tip my father was on. He told me if he's in a coma for 7 months, just pull the plug. And I thought about this. I was like, what if my father was in a coma? Then I thought to myself a specific way that my father would die. And I thought about this several times. What if my father, like, I'm not a negative person or anything, but like random stuff comes to my mind or whatever. And before my father even passed away back in like 2017, 2018, random thoughts would come to my mind, and I'm not going to say the specific way my father died, but thoughts before my father passed away, a couple years before my father passed away, like I have thoughts in my head like, what if my father passed away in this way? What if my father passed away in that way? You know, like I shouldn't be thinking of my father passing away, but my spirit led me to think about this. And the same way before my father passed away, the same way that I thought he could potentially pass away in, it actually happened. And this is 2017. In 2018, the same thing happened again. I was at this program, and the leader of this program that I was in the summer of 2018, this is September 2018, they were talking about one of their clients. They were watching over their family member, you know, and their family member, a caregiver for their family member, and their family member who they're a caregiver over, ending up having like a health issue with their leg, and something happened to the leg. And I'm thinking, like, what if the same situation happened to my father, and my father ended up passing away because of this specific health ailment? You know, and this is a few weeks before my father got sick. My father, he had a stroke in September of 2018. This is a few weeks before it happened, like literally like 2 or 3 weeks before it happened. And I'm thinking, what if this happened to my father? Then December of 2018, the exact same thing happened to my father. And what happened, the health ailment that happened to my father led to his death. And I started to think like, damn, these thoughts that were coming to my head for the past few years, they were telling me basically that my father was going to pass away. And that's some deep shit. Before my father passed away, I knew exactly how he was going to pass away. And this shit is not a coincidence, man. This shit is pure spiritual. The spirit realm and God, the Most High, Yahweh, he was telling me that my father is going to pass away soon. And I have something else to tell you guys. This shit is crazy. You know, a year before my father passed away, back in 2018, while I was living with my father, I had a dream that my father passed away. I knew the morning when I woke up after I had the dream, I knew I did not have that dream of my father passing away as a coincidence. I knew it wasn't a coincidence. I had that dream for a reason, and I knew it immediately. And after I had that dream, my father passing away, I'm thinking like, oh shit, my father might pass away soon. But, I try not to be negative and I didn't dwell on it. I ended up actually forgetting about the dream until my father actually passed away. And I'm looking back on all of this stuff that I experienced from 2015, from 2015 to 2018, I will walk past the cemetery. I always would see the number 33 whenever I walk past the cemetery. The two apartments me and my father lived in, they're all in their funeral homes and in a cemetery. Or whenever would see cars going to a funeral with the funeral stickers on them, the number I would see will always be 33. I'll look at my phone and the number would be 33. I was like, damn, these were all signs from the Most High that my father was soon to pass away. The Most High, a lot of times, he'll give you signs that something vital is going to happen in your life. And these were all signs that my father was going to pass away. Then that dream happened. Then I look back on that dream of my father passing away. I was like, oh, the Most High was trying to tell me that I'm going to have a big change in my life pretty soon. And that big change was my father passing away. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't even feel like my father is gone. It doesn't feel like he's passed away. Like when my father passed away, I was sad. I cried for a little bit. But right now, I'm not even really. I love my father to death, but I'm not even really so sad about his passing because it doesn't feel like he's gone. It feels like my father is still alive. And it's not because I'm in denial of his death. I fully accepted that my father is gone, but it doesn't feel like my father is dead. It still feels like he's alive. Like it doesn't feel like he went anywhere. And I know for a fact that feeling that I have of my father not being gone, not being dead, that's not a coincidence. It's because his spirit is still around me. My father's spirit is still around me. And this is how I know my father's spirit is still around me. Like, right after my father passed away, like literally a day after my father officially passed away, I kept seeing these angel numbers again. Every second, the day after this was happening like a week or two, after my father passed away, I kept seeing these angel numbers. Every time I open my phone, I see the number 33. Every time I open my phone, it's 7:33, it's 8:33, or it's 8:55, it's 4:55, it's 7:11, it's 8:11. Like every time I open my phone, like a week or two, even a day after my father passed away, I keep seeing these double-digit repeating numbers, like 11 and 11. 23, 33, 44. I keep seeing these angel numbers. They call it angel numbers. These are spiritual numbers. And I kept seeing these numbers right after my father passed away. And that made me think, it's like, oh, is my father's spirit around me? Probably. And it's crazy. It doesn't even feel like my father is gone. And I've been knowing he was going to pass away for the longest. Like 4 years prior to my father's death, I knew he was going to pass away. And now my father, I believe when you pass away, when you're dead, when you pass away, your spirit leaves the earth. You're all knowing. You know everything. You know, when you pass away, your spirit knows everything. You have like an infinite intelligence. That's what I believe. Other people may not believe it, but I believe it. So my father, he knows everything about my life now. He knows exactly what I'm going through. He knows the pain I was going through, watching him die, in a coma. He knows the racism that I go through as a black man, that this society is against me and everything. He sees my life 100%. And he knows I'm going through the struggle. My father knows I'm going through the struggle. And that's probably why his spirit is near me. You feel me? And all right, you guys, man. Peace out.